Fire, fire, fire.
And speaking of crazy women, check this shit out. TikToker facing life in prison humiliates herself in court, and she's like, I'm so freaky.
This TikToker is facing life in prison for ending her boyfriend's life, but I guess she's also blowing kisses in court. Welcome back to another episode of What in the World is Going On with these darn influencers, because for some reason, a whole bunch of them just can't act right. So, okay, after sitting in—
Bro, in court too. Look at the lawyer too. Imagine being like you are like taking this client on and they're like,
Okay, after
Such a
sitting in jail for
loser.
more than 3 years awaiting trial, and after being denied bond, yet again, she shows up to a motions hearing, sticking her tongue out and puckering up at the people in the courtroom. Okay, ma'am, you're
Ew,
charged with second-degree
gross.
murder. You're about to stand trial this spring. Why are you acting like this? Because if you're claiming self-defense and your entire future depends on a jury believing you were terrified and had no other choice, why are you blowing kisses like this is some sort of like red carpet event?
You
Like,
know what's sad? I actually think that people who go to, like, I've seen a lot of trials of people of women specifically being on trial for murder, and usually they try to at least pretend to be like meek and like they fake emotion to like try and appear like more meek than they actually like were when they were like doing the killing, so that the people sympathize with them. This bitch doesn't even do that. She's like, yeah, I did it for the bond, brother.
hello? And also,
Yeah, she's
like,
just
I know a
dumb as
lot of you
fuck.
guys are probably lost here, but the story starts in April 2022 because police were then called to a luxury apartment building in Miami. And inside the apartment, they found a 27-year-old Christian Toby Obumseli, no longer responsive. Courtney here
Aw,
took his life
that's sad.
with a knife, and she's claiming
Guys, he fell into my knife. Guys, please believe me. This big man fell into my knife. I didn't mean it.
defense. And Courtney
It's
Clenney,
worse. No
she's
spoilers.
a
No spoilers.
TikToker, Instagram model, and OF girl. And she has millions of followers, and she's known online
Oh, she's really, really hot. Look at those honkers. That's a Fendi bikini. Damn, she probably has a lot of money.
as Courtney Taylor. But by the time first responders arrived, Toby was bleeding heavily and would later lose his life to those injuries.
In the
That's
next
sad.
room, paramedics are trying to help Christian.
Sit down, sit down, sit down. Do me a favor, sit down. Do not
Why are
move.
you yelling at me?
Do not move.
Why are you yelling at me?
Do not move, sit
Okay,
down.
okay. Oh my god, oh my god.
Courtney is begging to see him, but police explain she cannot go back inside because the apartment
covering
is
her up
considered a
too,
crime
damn.
scene.
I'm covered in his blood because I'm trying
Okay,
to save
I
him.
understand
I'm trying
that.
to save him.
I understand that.
And if I don't, you'll get
I'm covered in his blood trying to save him. Interesting thing to say. That is not what I would say. If I was in love with someone and they were dying, I would not say that. That's not the first thing that comes to my mind.
Okay.
What will I do with
All
my
right.
I need him. He's like my other half.
And Courtney didn't deny what happened. She acknowledged that she ended his life, but said that she was acting in self-defense. She told investigators that Toby had pushed her and thrown her to the floor, then claimed that she grabbed a knife and threw it at him from about 10 feet away. And
I beg your pardon, what?
pushed her and thrown her to the floor, then claimed that she grabbed a knife and threw it at him from
She grabbed a knife and threw it at him.
about 10 feet away. And
That's how he died, dude. Yo, she's got some skills from 10 feet?
version of events her defense has stood by. But it's safe to say
From
the
10 feet? That's 3 meters away. I don't think... Hold on, this is like 3 feet away. I'm like 10 feet away from my door. I don't think I could be accurate. No, like, you'd have to be really good at throwing knives to throw, like... It's not that bad. She's a chick who's a supermodel. Are you... Like, you'd have to be, like, the most luckiest person on the planet to throw that and then kill them. Or you'd have to be a professional knife thrower. Like, I don't think you understand how difficult it is to, like, pointedly throw it and then like pierce them with the sharp end of the knife.
Medical examiner's
Yeah, it's just like a
stories
random knife. It's not even
complicated that
throwing a
story
knife. It's like
because the
balanced.
autopsy concluded that Abumseli, he passed away from a forceful downward thrust from a blade that went 3 inches.
3 inches into his chest? She was supposed to throw it like Superman. Was she Superwoman?
Into his chest, which, you know, was piercing a major artery. And investigators essentially say,
Bro, she must be the Hulk. She threw that. She like fucking backhanded it from 3 meters away, and then just 3 inches. What is it? Looks like, yeah, that's insane. You don't understand how much cartilage and like skin you'd have to pierce through into a man. Like the downward from, yeah, and the kid is on a throat. I mean, like, I'm not a lawyer or anything, but this is really bad. That's so bad.
That
she
the
must
fatal
have been
wound
like fucking
could not have been caused by a knife thrown
like sitting
from
there
that
on
distance.
him.
And that's the detail which has people questioning everything about her story. Because thrown knife versus downward plunge, that's the question. And this has been the biggest point of tension for the entire case. But she wasn't arrested that day or even the next day. In fact, she wasn't taken into custody until 4 months later, in August of 2022, because then she was arrested in Hawaii at a rehab facility, and she was then extradited back to Florida to face a charge of second-degree murder. And at the time of her arrest, Miami-Dade State Attorney Catherine Fernandez-Rundle described the incident as coming from a tempestuous and combative relationship that began in November of 2020. And that relationship had already drawn attention long before Toby lost his life, because the couple had previously lived in Austin, Texas. And there, a former neighbor said their fights were so frequent and intense that, according to reporting at the time, police were called to their residence multiple times. So after moving to Miami, prosecutors...
Such as when a tiger painting was thrown onto his 10th floor balcony during a violent dispute. Oh my God. They were throwing shit into other people's balconies? Is that what I'm understanding? They quite literally spilled over into his apartment. Yeah, it's into another neighbor's apartment, into the balcony.
That the violence continued, and that their building was even preparing to evict them because of the repeated disturbances. Like, do you know how bad the fighting has to be to get evicted over fighting? Then, video surfaces from a trip the couple took to Aspen just months before Toby's life was ended. And in that footage, Courtney can be seen hitting him repeatedly during an argument. I'm unsure how much we can actually...
Yes, here we go. No, I'm in self-defense. I'm smacking him. You can't fight back, pussy. I bet you if I saw the footage, I would know exactly what's going on.
Actually show up that footage here, but it looks bad.
Sober for 2 weeks. 2 weeks. And now why am I not sober? Because of you.
New video show.
I literally called it. I don't hear smacking from him.
Model Courtney Clenney hitting then boyfriend Christian Abumseli over a dozen times while on a trip in Aspen, Colorado. This is one of more than 100 pieces of evidence released to the Abumseli family civil attorney as part of the investigation.
In that video, you can see Courtney acting erratically. You can see her hitting Christian multiple times, which...
And this is in public where they caught it. I'm assuming it's like footage from the resort or something. Because, like, obviously they weren't recording themselves. I don't think. That's not what I'm thinking, right? Yeah, this is like, I don't know, like CCTV camera or something. And they caught it, or like they didn't catch it, but like they have that as evidence. So it's way worse in private, yeah.
Unfortunately, is consistent with her behavior throughout this entire case.
But her attorney later described the relationship as toxic and said that evidence exists that Abumseli physically abused Courtney on prior occasions, and on April 3rd, 2022, Courtney was forced to defend herself from Abumseli's physical attack. Well, I mean, it's hard to say because we weren't there and we don't have camera footage of what happened. But to me, it looks like there's also evidence that Courtney did this back to Toby. So from the beginning, we
also don't know like what's fucking going on between them, like if she's starting it or if he's starting it, what's going on with him. Is he getting pushed around and fucking losing it? It's so hard to say.
Has not been simple whatsoever.
But the fact that she's smacking him in public and shit, that's just fucking wild to me.
On one side, you have a woman
like a pattern of behavior type
in
shit.
what she describes as an abusive relationship. On the other side, you have forensic evidence that prosecutors argue does not match up to her story. And as this case has moved forward, it's only become more and more complicated because it wasn't just Courtney who ended up facing charges. Her parents did as well.
What?
Well, that
What did they do?
definitely doesn't make her look
What?
good. And Kim and Deborah Clenney were taken into custody in Texas on out-of-state felony charges connected to the case. Because according to the arrest warrant affidavit, Kim, Deborah, and Courtney were charged with 1 count of unauthorized access of a computer system, or electronic device belonging to Christian Obumseli. Because investigators believe that Obumseli's laptop had been taken from the Miami apartment after his passing and accessed without permission. And
Do you think they were like hiding it so that... No, really. Like, you would do that for your kid? That's, yeah, it's possible. Tampering? I don't know. This is so fricked.
Obumseli family's attorneys released a statement saying the Obumseli family is saddened to hear the reports that Courtney's parents illegally took possession of Christian's
insane.
laptop. And this is yet another disturbing reminder.
But you know what's dumb is, like, if they're deleting messages or pictures, say it's like between him and her, like him, the guy, and then the girl that's getting sentenced, right? That evidence is going to be on her side, so they're going to find it anyway. So that makes it even worse if they do find out that there is evidence that was deleted on his side because of her family. Yeah, like, if that's true.
Of the horrible crimes committed against their family. The Clenney's family's attorney fired back, basically saying that they were saddened to hear her parents were arrested. And
I'm not convinced, like, unless the dad or the mom works in, like, tech or something, it's not entirely possible to scrub everything from, like, a computer. Even if you delete it, like, you can still find it. Destroy. Yeah, you have to physically, like, smash it to pieces to dust, essentially. What if you using it magnets? No, I mean, like, physically altering it. I'm not talking about, like, oh, I deleted the thing and then I deleted the recycling bin. You can still recover it. Yeah, like, you have to literally smash it to pieces so that you can't, like, access it, period.
An overstep by the prosecution. They also said, we believe the Clenney family has been targeted with some trumped up charges to discredit them in the press and make their lives miserable. It stinks.
I just don't believe that these people would be smart enough unless they have some sort of, like, connection to it, like, with work, like, to delete or somehow just removing the information. I just don't buy it. Yeah.
Of a power play by prosecutors to control the narrative.
Most people don't know exist. Yeah, well, I'm thinking, like, the average person doesn't, and I'm assuming they're average people.
Courtney facing a murder charge.
To the
her
rule.
parents were facing felony charges tied to alleged computer access. And in July of 2024, the computer hacking charges were dropped because of a circuit judge ruled that Miami-Dade State Attorney's Office violated attorney-client privilege when investigators seized text messages and emails between Courtney, her parents, and her attorneys. And that doesn't mean that they didn't take the computer, it just means the investigators got a hold of information that was meant to be between Courtney's family and their lawyers. And on the murder charge side of things, Courtney was charged with second-degree murder. When she first went into the judge, her legal team pushed for a bond. They argued that she was not a flight risk and that she should be allowed to await trial outside of jail. But the judge disagreed. She was denied bond and she's been behind bars ever
Based! Good! Stop treating them with bubble wrap. Good.
ever since. Over the next few months, though, more evidence started coming out. And through all this, through the public hearings, the public statements, the video evidence, the parents' arrest, Courtney Clenney, she remained in jail. And by the time 2025 rolled around, Courtney Clenney had been in jail for more than 3 years.
Good.
So her defense team tried again. In December, she was back in court asking the judge to reconsider bond. Her attorneys argued that she didn't have the money she once did. They said that she wasn't a flight risk and that she didn't.
She's a 1%er. She just needs to go fucking make rocks into smaller rocks. She's not fucking fit to be in society. The fact that she feels no remorse and is, like, making faces in court, and then, like, after all that, I also think her parents should be accountable. Obviously, they should be put on trial for deleting evidence, allegedly. I think that there's, like, a correlation between them. Maybe, like, it's genetic or something. They're just fucking stupid. Like, they can't function in human society. Oh, my daughter murdered someone? I better go and take the boyfriend's laptop. The dead boyfriend's laptop.
pose a danger to the community. They told the court that if she was to be released, she would go back to Texas and live with her parents and BK. And prosecutors argued that the evidence presented by the defense did not change the situation and that Clenney should not be considered for bond. The judge also agreed with the state and bond was denied yet again, which means, you know, she has to wait in jail until her trial. But the December hearing did actually lead to a trial date. So the judge set the trial to begin on April 27, 2026. And prosecutors said they believe the case would take less than 2 weeks to present. So after years of legal back and forth, after motions, hearings, and privilege disputes, and public statements, this case finally has a clock on it. Spring of 2026. And I mean, honestly, the stakes could not be higher because if convicted, she could face life in prison. Her defense is still centered around the self-defense, but they also have pushed for the case to be considered manslaughter instead of second-degree murder. And the prosecution maintains that the evidence shows an intentional act, pointing again to the autopsy finding of a forceful downward thrust. And
no, the fact that they caught her and she's like, yeah, I threw the knife. like a literal superhero 10 feet away, and then it lodged in his chest 3 inches into the cavity of his chest and damaged a major artery. Yeah, sweetie, that's definitely how it works. They're not gonna find forensic evidence of like you quite literally sitting on top of him and just thrusting your knife in. Yeah, I don't know.
Couldn't have just been made from a knife being thrown from 10 feet away. And I guess at this time, a jury will eventually decide, was this self-defense during a violent domestic dispute, or was it all intentional? And then, just as trial season was approaching,
I think one of the funniest not court cases, but forensic files was like, yeah, I did it as self-defense, and it's literally her stabbing him like 7 times in the back. And I'm just sitting here like, that's your defense? Like, you couldn't even plead insanity. You're saying, I defended myself and I stabbed him in the back 7 times. Not once, not twice, not like, I don't know, in the leg or the thigh. It's like in the back or near the heart it could be, like if you penetrated hard enough. But no, like, oh, I stabbed him in the back, yeah. I'm so innocent, you guys. There's another one that's a famous one. The woman takes out life insurance on her husband, who's like, he got a pretty good job. It's like an 80s story. And he's in bed, and she calls the police. And the story is that she basically found him, and he game-ended himself. I can't say the word because of YouTube. And the bullet is in his left temple, but the gun that they found is in his right hand, like splayed out on the bed. And it's supposed to be like he game-ended himself. And I'm just saying, and I was laughing with my mom. We watch these stories all the time. It would be like, dude, this bitch is so dumb. She didn't even put it in the right hand. Like, he somehow twisted his arm, and then he perfectly lined up his gun to the temple. He's got some monkey arm. He's got long orangutan flexibility, right? And I'm just like, you dumb. Like, yeah, he did do it.
She walked into court last week and went viral once again because this court appearance was for, I guess, her emotions hearing ahead of the trial. So this wasn't her trial itself. This was one of those hearings where lawyers argue about what evidence the jury will and won't see. And before the proceedings even began, she started making faces at the people in the courtroom. And according to reporting from the hearing, Clenney was seen sticking out her tongue and puckering like she wanted someone's kiss. Like, again, ma'am, your life is on the line here.
It's because she doesn't care, probably, no? Like, she's hot. Like objectively. I'm not trying to say she's hot, like, personality-wise. Obviously, she's fucking horrendous. But, I mean, damn it. Like, right here, right? Like, she's objectively hot. So, like, I think she probably just got away with so much shit throughout her life. She's spoiled. She's a rat. She's got lots of money. Like, she doesn't give a fuck.
Clenney was seen sticking out her tongue and puckering like she wanted someone's kiss. Like, again, ma'am, your life is on the line here. Why are you acting like this? But she's been in jail for more than 3 years.
Pretty privileged,
she's facing
for sure.
second-degree murder charges, and, you know, she could spend the rest of her life in prison, and this is what she's
realizing
deciding to do.
it, yeah.
So, yeah. But our defense team tried to strike down one of the prosecutor's expert witnesses, Dr. Michael Brannon, because apparently the issue is that Brannon had sued the defense proposed expert, Dr. Lenore Walker, for defamation more than 20 years ago, and the case was settled with an agreement that they would not personally malign with each other. And Walker testified that it would make her uncomfortable to remain involved if Brannon stayed in the case.
I have no idea how that works. He sued her for... it's just some lawyer stuff. Okay.
The defense and the prosecution's star witnesses are fighting on top of everything else happening.
That sucks,
here.
But I get it, I suppose.
That makes this case
20 years
even more
ago?
interesting. But Brandon testified that there's no reason why both sides can't continue if everyone keeps it professional.
No, I understand. It's just like, damn, like that kind of sucks. Like they have to throw him out now.
But Judge Andrea Wolfson denied the defense's motion, and there was also a fight over recordings, because prosecutors also want to introduce recordings that Christian Almcelli secretly made of Courtney before his passing, and the defense argued those recordings were illegal recordings and should be excluded. And
but if it's a crime, then what how? Isn't there some sort of like workaround with laws if it's a crime, like it's okay? Like I know, I don't know how it works. Legal evidence is always weird. Like that's so dumb. How could they prove it's illegal recording? Because in some states, I don't know which ones, maybe in Texas, you can't record someone without their consent, essentially. But my argument is like, it's a crime and he's already dead. So like, I don't get it. Like we're trying to we're trying to get to the bottom of it, you know? Like, I don't know. I'm not a lawyer. I think it's ridiculous.
Ruled to exclude most of them,
include it,
but
in my
we'll still
opinion.
see some of these secret recordings when the trial comes around, because recordings made in the apartment's lobby and on the balcony can be used, ruling there was no reasonable expectation of privacy in those areas. So apparently
Texas is a single-party consent state, so you can. Oh, but I don't know where they were recorded. It could be in Aspen or it could be in Florida. I don't know how it works, because different states have different laws.
some of that audio will also be played for a jury.
I'm actually not having a good day. We're actually literally want to kill you, but you don't take me seriously.
So her trial is set to begin on April 27, 2026. 12 people will be asked to decide whether this was self-defense in a volatile relationship or whether this was an intentional act. And honestly, when you're about to ask 12 strangers to believe you were terrified for your life, blowing kisses in court doesn't really seem like the best idea. So
she's promoting her OnlyFans. Is she an OnlyFans model or is she just a model? I don't know.
This will be interesting to see how it all plays out. But until then, I'll see you guys in tomorrow's video. I am back with daily uploads again. I took a break after all my traveling, but I have so much content that's stacked up for you guys.
She said OF at the start.
So I'll see you guys soon. Peace.
Course.
Subscribe if you're new. Drop a like if you enjoyed the video. Peace. That was like my third outro in 2 seconds.
Like,
See ya. That was a 4.
Look at my booty hole. Dude, that's insane. What if one of the jury like buys her OF? I would have them thrown out if I found out as a judge. 100% though. Crazy work? Yeah, you think so? Go check them out. I love my Tozy.
Fire, 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 fire.